well today. Thank God. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm so glad that the Well After Hours has gone on location once again to Greater Life Outreach Center in Newark, where Reverend Marie and Reverend Michael Westbrook are the pastors of the church and also the directors of the Outreach Center. And we are privileged to be with them this morning. And we have Chanel Maynor, who is one of their star products and graduates of their program, who is here. And they're going to give us a nice tour before we go into our interview of Greater Life. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Westbrook.
Yes.
So nice. Thank you for allowing us to come in and kind of showcase what you and your husband have done for the last 33 years.
Oh,
I know.
it's been that short.
So why don't we give our viewers a nice tour to show them, what this is really all about, what you're doing here at Greater Life.
Okay, well, the wonderful thing is, I have the privilege as the Vice President of Administration and Finance for Greater Life Incorporated to have some help, thank God, through the years. And Chanel Maynor, Assistant Fund Developer, she's going to help lead the tour. Hey, all right.
Thank you.
Well, this is our Greater Life Community Outreach Center. This is where a lot of magic happens.
This is where the magic happens.
Yes.
That is so awesome.
Through these doors, many teens from the community come in. They come in and have a place to relax and hang out with some phenomenal mentors, play video games.
They help make this board.
That's right.
Wow.
They own
that-
everything in here.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my
yes.
goodness.
This is where our scout troop meets and so many other phenomenal programs that we have for our focus on our teens. We also have behind us our Duke Snack Shack. It's an entrepreneur piece that one of our former youngsters who came through these doors sadly passed away.
He was murdered, sadly.
Yeah.
Wow.
About 10, well, actually, it's been now 12 years almost. A wonderful young man who came here. He was hungry. He came to our door when we first bought the building 21 years ago. And to help him with his pride, we started this snack shack and named it in his honor so he could earn his own money to purchase his own meals.
Isn't that wonderful? Oh.
So out of here, we use this as a tool to help develop the leadership skills for our teens. They learn different things like using a cash register, counting money, earning a percentage of the profits.
Inventory.
Yeah, inventory.
You name it.
And they gain confidence dealing with money and counting. They gain confidence with working with people and also serving under leadership. So
We're excited about that. And then over here, if I can say. Sure. Sorry, I apologize. Some of the young people left a little bit of art.
Oh, yeah.
Our teenagers, we have some artistic ability that we try to identify. Whenever they come into our safe haven, they come in after school hours. And we have recreation, homework assistance,
Isn't that awesome?
counseling.
Yes.
Take a picture real quick. Sure. Chanel's going to take some pictures while we go along, too.
Okay.
Of you taking pictures of us.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And so this is a multi-purpose space. This also transforms into our Greater Life Christian Fellowship Church, which was actually birthed out of the needs of some of the young people that we were reaching out to on our community outreach level. And so we started a church. It just happened to be the same name as Greater Life, but it is two separate institutions. And this
Awesome.
transforms, this is a pulpit area and transforms into a worship center on Sundays.
I remember being here.
And you
I
came and
was
preached here 9 years ago.
Right, that's right. Oh my goodness.
So,
This is so
we're
awesome.
going to actually go into another building. We have a few offices down here and all as well that our staff utilize and our volunteers.
Yes.
And so we're
Wow.
going to take a quick pause and take you next door. How's that?
All
Unless if you
right.
want to walk, you want to keep it going while we're walking outside, you can feel free.
You know what?
One day we're going to get these connected.
That's
One day.
all right. Wow.
But we had the privilege 9 years ago, around the time that you actually came here, there was this building abandoned next door for 14 years that finally HUD literally almost gave it to us.
Oh my
Along with
goodness.
funders and others. You go ahead. They helped us purchase this building next door debt-free. We're almost done paying this building off.
Oh my goodness.
But next
what a
door
blessing.
actually came to us. And this sign was actually designed, that logo, by a teenager who came here. He was homeless and had a lot of family challenges. I'm not. He actually designed that logo.
Isn't that awesome?
So we come over here next door to our food pantry.
Okay.
This is our family resource center, actually named in honor of Jaquan.
Oh my goodness.
Come this way, watch your step,
Okay.
and that'll just lock right behind you. And watch your step here as well. And this is where our families come to for food, and they come and they sign in here. Yep, they sign in here, and they come and stand in line. And even yesterday, we had tons of people come through. We have about 30 to 35 families a week that we service. So Chanel's gonna walk you through here.
Okay.
We may even have some
Wow.
food left. I'm gonna turn lights on.
This is where all the people come through. They wait out there, and we have some amazing volunteers that help serve and give them the bags that they need.
Isn't that?
Yes, yes,
Boy,
yes.
I'm telling you, all are really busy doing. Talk about doing kingdom work.
Yeah.
And one day, our goal, this is our storage
Yes.
closet, our goal is to make this a shopping
Yes.
food pantry where our families can actually come in and pick out what they need.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're praying that we'll get some volunteers and some more support as a result of trying to let
Thank
people
you.
know that what you're doing.
You see our shelves are quite bare because we had so many needs yesterday that we almost emptied out our shelves. These were all full.
So that's the other thing people can do is like when they go shopping, pick up some extra canned goods and things
Exactly.
and just donate them and bring them. Oh my goodness.
Certainly.
We have fresh food, table to table,
Yep.
donates to us weekly. Meats, vegetables, so we teach healthy eating.
Watch your step.
Okay.
Please.
We're going
Chanel's gonna
upstairs.
take you upstairs
Yep.
here. And I'll take a picture. Let me take a picture when you get up there. How's that? Okay. Take some selfies.
You know, and I usually do when I come out, and but you know what? And I forgot to ask when we get back
We'll take some
upstairs. I'm going to
selfies
ask
later.
Sonia to do that.
So you're walking the walk that many of our children come 2nd through 8th grade. They come through here into none other than Kids Institute Education Enrichment Program. Wow. And they come here. The staff and volunteers and our leaders in training help paint this in colors that would stimulate our young people. They've done
Isn't that
STEM,
awesome?
robotics,
Oh my goodness.
everything happens in here. Stimulate the creativity of our young people.
Isn't that awesome?
And we have high school students that also come and volunteer from some suburban communities as well as even across the street. Our goal is to have a combination of young people coming in and helping to train our young people. So I'll let you
And
take
college students.
And college students.
That's all right. There you go.
Chanel's going to Rutgers University now.
Oh my
I came from Essex County as a
congratulations.
volunteer. Watch your step here.
Okay.
Came as a volunteer of the summer program, and since then, God allowed me to stay here and be blessed.
Isn't that
And
something?
be
as they say?
elevated.
And the rest is history,
Yes,
as they say.
yes, yes.
Isn't that awesome?
So you have rules, you have roots to American history, music, and
Oh, my goodness.
anti-bullying. They do a lot. Learn how to become leaders, skills for success, and so much more that they do.
And they help present
Yes.
what they come up with
Yes.
each year, at least on 3 occasions. We have our 2 school semester programs. They run 10 weeks on Saturday mornings, as well as after-school homework assistance. And then we have in the summer 6-week program where the young people, there's 5 levels of leadership. Our executive leadership, leading our leaders, college students, who lead young people in high school, who lead our challengers, who we're challenging in the 7th and 8th grade to grow up a little bit and be ready for leadership. And then we have our young children who we consider leaders of today and tomorrow.
Right, that's right. Isn't that awesome? Oh my goodness.
But they came up with all of this.
Yes.
Wow.
And here is our Kids Institute office where our
We have quite a few.
Talia comes and works things out for the kids.
K1.
Oh my
K1, the
goodness.
coordinator.
And Nettie.
And
And
Leaders in
TJ.
Training.
Leaders in Training.
Wow.
They come and do administrative help Kids Institute get where it needs to get and get the kids out what they need to have on the times that we have the program for Kids Institute. Whether it's a Saturday enrichment or the 6-week, 5-day summer Kids Institute.
This is amazing.
And this room,
Watch your step here.
yes. This room actually is the first room that I worked in with 12 second and third graders.
About 5 years ago?
6 years
6 years
ago,
ago?
I think almost 7, because it was 2013.
Wow.
2013. So we have our Saturday enrichment program in here, as well as during the summertime is our second and third grade classes.
From 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So parents who
Yes.
we've also assisted in job opportunities and encouraging them that they're able to know their children are safe and learning, because
Yeah.
we're trying to avoid summer learning loss. That's our whole goal. And many of our children, we estimate about 50% are excelling at least a grade or even 2 above. And 50% of them are on the honor roll. And we have about probably 10% that are on the super honor roll. And the teachers have given us the direct expression that this program, our Kids Institute, has helped them. And Kids Institute Education Enrichment Program, acronym is KEEP. So we're trying to keep our kids off the streets and into positive venues. But Chanel, as a result of coming here as a volunteer, there was just something about her that, and of course many of our leaders, but there was just something that stood out. And I remember having a conversation with Chanel, and I felt her heart for young people. I felt her heart for mission work and her heart for people in the community. And having grown up between Jersey City and Newark, I said, oh, her heartbeat is right here. And she said, I'm leaving the corporate arena and I want to come and do mission work. And I was like, there's opportunities here. At the time, we didn't have any money to pay. We didn't have any money in the beginning. And she came here strictly on a voluntary basis. And we had some stipends that became available by some funders. And long story short, we eventually, a funder saw her work, actually, and said, we want to help make sure she gets hired. So Chanel, this is now what? Well, how many years since you've been hired?
This is my second year.
Wow, Chanel.
Going on 3.
This is awesome.
And so that's when she became my assistant to help me with the fund development and also still does program. She runs our Girls in Real Life Situations, GIRLS, Girls in Real Life Situations, as along with K1.
Isn't
You may meet K1 before the day's over. And Shakai.
Isn't
So,
that
yes.
awesome? Oh my goodness.
Well, this is where
And
it happens.
They not only learn, but they actually actively use their soft skills that they learn in different venues, because we put them in the forefront to be able to use those skills. Actually, we had a couple of students that came to the gala to present how to communicate in front of the audience. And they did wonderfully. They did wonderfully. We were so proud.
Oh my goodness. It's such a fulfilling, to see, people go on. I mean, you can't reach, sometimes you try to reach everybody, but you reach those that you can.
And somebody did that for us.
Yes.
I mean, I was
So it's
homeless as a
giving back.
teenager, and somebody helped me. Somebody reached out. And that's what we're all about. That's why we're community outreach. Because we're that arm that reaches out. We'll close the doors of this building to go find where young people are if we need to. Because particularly in this past semester, we've noticed a major influx of a lot of new members, especially as the city is in renewal and renaissance. We're seeing a lot of folks come from different cities, different states even. And so we do everything we can to constantly reach out.
Wow.
Go out.
Oh my goodness. If only we could duplicate you.
Well, that's our hope.
About 100 times.
That's our hope.
I mean, well, I hope there's some people that have that heart,
Watch your step.
Yes.
like you have, that the Lord will just send your way. This has just been. Oh wow! Now we're back over into the
main building.
Main building.
Our Greater Lake Community Outreach Center.
Yes, and this is the libraries?
Yes, it's it.
Awesome.
And look at here, Peter, you want to wave?
Hey.
He's working hard, homeschooling.
Awesome.
And his dad's our director of programs.
Wonderful.
And so this is where we have our board meetings, leadership trainings, you name it. It happens in here. And then this is where I sit. Welcome to my fund development office and HR office and counseling office. You name it.
Multi-purpose, you do everything. Oh my goodness,
Welcome,
this is just
welcome.
so wonderful.
An honor.
Beautiful.
An honor.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of life happens in here, thank God.
Yes, it does. And talk about remembering
A lot of these
roots.
are gifts that have come from young people, as well as some that I've found across the country.
Mhm.
But some of these have come from Africa, the motherland.
that's what I was thinking. Yes.
Guyana,
Oh my
Africa,
goodness.
different parts of Africa, El Salvador,
Wow.
Trinidad. And so there are some things, as we do have a very strong foster population, some of them they'll have us hold some goodies for them until they have permanent housing or semi-permanent. And some of them have said, keep it for me. And then they'll come back, and whether they volunteer or come back and bring us their families in the future, and they will be able to see on the shelf something that they gave us and said to keep. But otherwise, I have a huge container of goodies that they come back and they get. Some of them even basic things such as magazines and photo albums that otherwise might get lost in their heritage. So that's this room kind of it contains quite
It holds
a
a
few
lot.
things.
I'm telling you, isn't this?
This is the
beautiful?
safe.
Yes, this is where the treasure room. Wow.
So come this way, and so through all of this we can see out to the schools and we pray over the streets and the young people. Chanel, sit at your desk, my love. So this Chanel Mainer's desk.
And we
Kayla. That's right, our
She
high
met us
school
at the
intern.
door. Thank you, Kayla.
Chanel will
So
introduce
sweet.
her officially. This is her boss.
This is Kayla Musa. This is our Crystal Ray High School intern. She's been with us since September.
Lovely.
Yes. So
Oh,
she's an intern for the Fund Development Office, and she's been helping marvelously. Very committed and dedicated young
Isn't
lady.
that beautiful?
Very
God
dedicated.
bless you.
Yes,
Oh, what
So
a
we
blessing.
have her until June. We're gonna miss her, and we pray God sends her back to us. Yes.
So in June, what do you plan to do?
I plan to go to the Seton Hall summer program after, so I spend my whole summer there until like the second week in August, and then I start school again in September.
Awesome. Oh, keep
Wonderful.
going,
She
girl.
is
Keep
awesome.
going.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful blessing.
Your future looks very bright.
So she's going to show you. It is very, very
Yes,
bright.
it is.
And I tell you, what would we do without Kayla's help?
Thank you, Kayla.
Very joyful.
So this is where I sit. This is,
All
this is the
right.
Fund Development Office where Kayla helps me out of, and I do what I can.
This is
to
where the
help
other
her.
magic
Yeah.
happens.
This is it. I tell you, Chanel is a treat as well. Chanel, she's an answer to my prayer. I said, God, everyone here, please.
Yes,
no,
yes,
they're all
no.
answered to my prayers. But
In their
specifically,
respective places.
I asked God to
understand,
send me
yes.
some help. And she has a heart for those who support us in prayer, in donations, a heart for people that's second to none.
Isn't that beautiful?
Ministers to people and, as they give.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
You haven't even begun to see the blessings that are going to
Amen.
unfold.
Amen.
God never forgets your labors of
Amen.
love. I tell you,
Amen.
what you've done unto the least of these,
Yes. Yes.
you're doing it unto Him. So that's a
Yes.
blessing. I mean, we don't get an opportunity. You want to do something great for the Lord, do something for His people.
Wow, that's true.
Amen.
And they do so much for us. They write us notes of encouragement and prayers as they're giving. Some people we know they're giving even of some of the last of what they have. And one woman, she called us up and she was giving us $8 a month at one point in time. And then she called us and said, God said for me to give you X amount. And increased it, and then God took care of her. Right? She lacked for nothing.
You don't.
The widow's mite.
Give and it shall
Yes.
be.
Yes.
Yeah, not it
indeed.
might be, but it shall be.
And
So
she would write
there
us
it is.
notes of encouragement. So
Yeah.
Chanel, she teaches people. Now, see, she's kind of humble, so I have to brag on her. a
That's
little bit.
right. That's right.
We have quite a few interns that come in from the local colleges, and they receive college credit to come here, learning data entry, all different areas of fund development, grant writing, PO
Wow.
letter writing, you name it. They come here, and all they have to do are a couple of exams and some papers, and they receive credit hours. Rutgers.
Yeah.
Montclair State, you name it, Bloomfield. We've had quite a few that come through here. And so Chanel's in charge of the direct training of that.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is a privilege. It's a privilege, and it definitely helps me to develop my own leadership skills and go into the next level.
As you say, iron sharpens iron.
That's
They do.
right.
Like Kayla, she sharpens us.
Oh
Yeah.
my
She asks
goodness.
great
Yeah,
questions,
yes,
and we
yes.
encourage that.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you.
So,
Yeah. And
Well, this
God-
is thank you.
Thank you.
This is going to be a part 1 and a part 2.
I know we are going kind of long.
Serious.
Sorry.
No, it's not too long. It's, no, this is fine. This is working together.
is this
for
good?
good.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
this is working together
Well,
for good. I'm telling you.
We're going to let you
So-
meet our director of programs.
Okay.
Knock and knock. This used to be one big office with Tom Skinner's office in both of these, and then they were divided, and now our director of programs, none other than Scott Davis, who came from Catholic
Yes.
Charities. He used to be on our board of directors and wanted to do some more on the street work. And we said, well, it's been about 9 years now.
9 years.
Come
This
on
month,
this
9
way.
years.
Isn't that
9
awesome?
years. So he helps to manage the Family Resource Center that you saw, oversees all of our programs, everything.
Wow.
He helps keep it together, as well as making sure that food gets into the food pantry, of which Dr. Allen said that she may know some people that have some more food to
Oh,
give.
wonderful.
Yeah, I was just
Wonderful.
thinking about, telling people, listen, when you go shopping, put something extra in the cart. And you can purchase more and drop it off here. I mean, that's all
works.
you have to do.
That
It's not, it
works.
doesn't make much,
Yes, indeed.
So
That's the way to do it.
It is. It really is. And it's not a burden. If a lot of people get together, many hands, can do big jobs. So
And that's true. And because of Scott's expertise that he's come with for almost 30 years, he has actually assisted us with a lot of referrals to other agencies. He knows everybody in town. And so if someone's homeless or someone is in need of jobs, etc., Scott's
He
on the
can
phone.
refer. Oh my
He's the man.
gosh.
This is our case manager right here.
Resource Center. That's so important.
Yes, it is.
Because people come up at a moment's notice with a need, and they don't know where to go, and there aren't that many places in the community where they can actually go to. And here is one place. This would be the first place I would start.
And it's a real honor.
Yeah.
And Scott understands the whole perspective, particularly having been a board member as well, understands the full capacity and has helped us so much with all those dreams and visions of Reverend Michael Thomas Westbrook to happen, along with everyone else.
That
Great
is so
leader.
awesome.
So we're going to take you
Thank
in.
you, Scott, so much.
And thank you for any food you can help get here.
Yes.
That's going to help our families.
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to talk
All right.
about it when we get back home. Believe me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay.
Well, announcing none other.
Now this is
other.
where I had to go a long way to finally get here.
Long way.
This is a nice real
Michael
Pastor
Thomas
Michael Westbrook. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Oh my God.
That's my best friend. That's my boo. But I am his vice president
we
as
haven't
well.
seen each other in
Yes,
a long
long
time,
time.
but it's so
Assistant
good.
pastor.
It's good to be seen, and it's good to see you. You look absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for allowing us to come. I'm just so excited to be here and to get our interview going.
Yes.
I told you, but this is going to be part 1.
Okay.
So viewers know that we're going to have part 1 week and part 2 on the next week.
What an honor.
yes.
What an honor.
So God is good. So I'm so grateful for this.
Well,
Thank
this-
you.
And I
this,
haven't been here
we're
in a
grateful.
long time, but to see how God has
ma'am.
expanded your territory.
Yes.
It's
yes.
all him.
Because you're faithful. He said, if you be faithful unto a few things.
Yes, you can rule over many.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
So God is so good. It's just
Ah.
a testimony to, the faithfulness of God
Oh,
to his
yes.
faithful people. So
Yes.
why should he give you more if you're not doing
Yes, ma'am.
anything with the less? So that's how increase comes, you know.
Yes, indeed.
So thank God for that. And
Well,
I-
this is where it all starts,
Yes.
from that beautiful brain of his.
Yes.
This is the visionary.
Yes.
This is the visionary right here. God
Awesome.
gave him a vision some 30 plus years ago,
ago, yeah.
almost
Yes.
40 years ago.
Almost, yeah. It's been that long.
We've known each other,
Isn't
and
that something?
and then he
I
just,
have to give a shout out because I was fortunate enough to meet you wonderful people through Mr. Andrew Mann.
yes, yes.
Our
Brother
chairman of the
That's our
board.
board chairman,
Brother
yeah.
He's our board
Andrew. So
chairman.
I
That's
haven't
right.
forgotten you, Andrew. We're giving you a shout out on the Well After Hours.
He is the man. We say he's the man.
Oh my goodness! I remember he helped us so. He was so wonderful with Polished Acts, the program that I had for youth at that time, and I'll never forget. He took us on a tour. He had gotten permission to take the young people down to the prison in Newark
Oh, wow.
and take a tour through there so that they could see what it was actually like to be
And
in
that's when
prison.
you were
Okay.
we were starting the
Yeah.
mentorship down
Yeah,
there.
it was amazing.
Okay, wow.
Mm.
We still
So-
work down there at the Essex County Youth Detention
Is that
Facility.
right?
We
Oh
sure
my
do.
goodness.
We have the privilege of
Do the
feeding.
Thanksgiving dinner.
We get to
Yeah.
feed the whole
It's our
facility.
privilege.
We minister to
Yeah.
the guards and the staff and
Isn't
tell them
that
thank
awesome?
Yes,
you.
yes. We should do it a week before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. Well, listen, this kind of concludes our tour, but it doesn't conclude our interviews. So thank you for letting us in and showing us everything that you're doing and where you do it. That was the whole thing. People will hear about it, but now to see it, they actually have a visual. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for sticking with it for 33 years,
Oh, thank
for
you.
staying faithful and
Yes.
keeping the God,
Yes.
bringing forth God's vision.
Mm.
And it's just, I know the interview is coming, and through all the challenges
Yeah.
that you have faced, you have remained faithful. Oh
Yes,
my
ma'am.
gosh,
Yes,
just
ma'am.
so
Such a
faithful.
reward.
And God has raised you up.
Yes.
Oh my, for
Oh,
such a
yes.
time as
Oh, yes.
this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yes.
I tell you, who wouldn't serve a mighty God like
I
that?
know,
Yes,
right?
So thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you, viewers.
Yeah, thank you for
We
coming to our house.
appreciate you. Ah, that's right. This is our house. We said this is our living room.
That's
You want
right.
to find the Westbrooks? Just
Go
come
ahead.
on over to Greater
The
Life
Greater
Community
Life.
Outreach Center at Chancellor Avenue and Aldine Street.
Yes. So we're going to continue this party as we go. So thank you so much. And we'll be starting part 2 in a little bit. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to the Well After Hours. I am so excited today. I'm privileged to be in the company of Reverend Michael and Reverend Marie Westbrook.
An honor.
They are an awesome team here at Greater Life Outreach Community Center. It's just an awesome place to be, and you will know that because you will see the tour. This is part 2 of our interview. You will get to see the tour of this wonderful establishment that they have developed and been committed to over the past 33 and some years. That is unbelievable what they have done right here in the community of Newark on Chancellor Avenue and on the corner of Chancellor and Aldine Street. And I'm privileged to have been their friend for at least about 10 or
Just
12
a few
years.
years.
So I'm just happy how God has expanded their territory. And so I'm going to read you a little bit about them so you will know the company, the level of the company that we're in the presence of. Thank you, God. Reverend Michael Westbrook, he's the president and CEO of Greater Life, Inc., which is the Greater Life Community Outreach Center. He's also pastor of Greater Life Christian Fellowship Church, and he's the president of the Global Summit. And his lovely helpmeet and
Honored.
partner and rib, Reverend Maria Westbrook, who is vice president of administration and finance for Greater Life, Inc., Greater Life Community Outreach Center, and the assistant pastor of Greater Life Christian Fellowship Church. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome,
Well, thank
welcome.
you,
I'm
thank
so
you. We're
glad
glad to
that
be
you
here.
guys had some time on your schedule to let me come down here and
For you?
yeah,
Of
to
course.
interview you too.
We're honored. We're honored.
Oh, I'm honored to be here and to have known you all for these many years.
Thank you,
and
Dr.
I mean, just solid people in Christ who
that's
have been
you.
committed and faithful. And I'm just so happy to know you. And you will have that. The tour of this facility is just amazing. And we're going to hear a little bit about it, but I just want to try to get into the interview and ask you some questions. Like, what was the real catalyst for actually that inspired you to actually start? What brought you? I know it's been a journey, but how did its journey start actually?
Actually, it was God's call. We were asked by a ministry called Young Life at the time, which dealt with high school kids, and we asked them, about places where they were places. And at the time, it wasn't even just Newark; it was other places, Savannah, Georgia, It was also someplace in Connecticut, Washington, D.C. And eventually they said, you know, you're from the area, you're from Newark. And we started praying. And at first we were reluctant, not because of the city or any of that kind of stuff, because I lived in Newark as a child, Milford Avenue. But it was because we didn't think we were needed here, you know, with all the churches and all the ministries going on. And two things brought us here. One is that we had built a relationship with Bishop Curtis Gilmore, who eventually rejoined his church. Our home church is, by the way, is Fountain Baptist Church in Summit, you know. And then he was having a meeting at his house with another pastor, and they started talking about revival.
1986.
You know, and of all things, they were talking about revival. And I was wrestling with God about, you know, our call to come here. And and the pastor said at the time, he said, if there were revival broke out in this part of the city, there wouldn't be enough churches to contain the people. So I was like, okay, God, that was the first step.
That was the first.
That was the first thing.
Because we felt called as urban missionaries.
Right.
We knew it was supposed to be
and
here.
we were living in
United
Plainfield
States.
at the time.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And we thought it was Plainfield. So God was tugging us here. And the second thing was, Maria used to work in New York City. She'll explain that later. But I used to go down to the train station to pick her up. We just used to drive around and say, Lord, you want us here where? We should drive in this area. And then one day we happened to be driving, and we pulled up to a light, and there was a church that had a chain link fence in front of it. I don't know if it was closed or closing or whatever. It's no longer there, but there were kids sitting on the steps.
Leaning on the fence.
They were just leaning on the fence, sitting on the steps, leaning on the fence. And God spoke to us and said, that's why I want you here. That's why I want you here. My children can't get into my house. It was after that we're like, okay, that's it. So we started here. We didn't have a building at first. We did street outreach. We connected with the high school. I coached wrestling there and just primarily met kids on the street.
St. John loved the space.
St. John eventually gave us some space, and that was the beginnings of the outreach center, their old building. On the second floor, I used to call it the upper room.
Bergen Street.
And it was 4 rooms, and wasn't much in it, just an office, a room where we did some Bible study. Somebody donated a ping pong table that was, you know, higher on one end than the other. So if you're on that side, you always won. So and
thank God for Reverend Raymond Greer at the time.
At the time, it was Deacon Greer.
And yes, Deacon Greer, and he came over and fixed the toilet for us.
Yeah, so it was.
And let's say he could only get the hot water connected.
Yeah, so the
we had a sauna.
So we had a sauna. So it was.
Awesome.
But you know what? Kids came. You
yes,
know,
they came.
We started off with the Wednesday Bible study with just the kids in the church, and then eventually there was a place for them to come to, and so that's where we started.
Safe haven.
And eventually we moved into this building after many different places we partnered with, and this building actually was in the process of being empty. Dr. Tom Skinner had passed away, and we noticed it empty. We called and spoke with the family. In the meantime, thieves broke in and unfortunately stole everything. We first looked at it was okay, and then by the time we ended up purchasing it, it was a wrecked and stolen everything. You know, it happens sometimes. Empty building and abandoned.
Yes.
So
it was 1997.
Right. So
we've been building it.
And so we've been rebuilding it slowly ever since. So we've been privileged to be here.
Isn't that awesome? Wow. That is amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. Sometimes people, you know, they give up so quickly if it's not in kind of not mint condition, but at least something that they can build from there. Like, but you had a vision. See, that's the difference when you have a vision.
Yes, he sure did.
You know, when you had a vision, as the visionary said, you know, we're there. God gives vision, He gives provision, and gives you the strength to endure and see it. And you all did it. I mean, looking back in hindsight, I don't know, you know, like how you felt at the time.
Well, Dr. Allen, here we were in our first year of marriage, and I'm working at the World Trade Center, and he had his corporate work as well. And then he says, I believe God wants me to stop working and pray for a month. So I was like, as a black woman, hello, my man is not going to stop working. I got a man with a job.
And you know what? That was killing me during that period of time because at first it was fine, but I was always used to working even as a child.
Used to working.
About 2 weeks in, I said, okay, Lord,
I
don't know if this is working. I mean, I actually looked for other places, and God blocked a lot of different places.
But you stayed on your knees.
Stayed on my knees,
and that spoke to me because here we were Christians trying to figure out in our early 20s and mid 20s, you're a few years older than me, how we could fulfill the call of God in our lives. Wow. That spoke to me as a young newlywed.
Yes, and oh my goodness, and as a man,
and God answered, and as a man, and God answered, hallelujah.
And you know, during that period of time, He just supplied everything.
He sure did.
And as soon as that 30 days was up, then I got approached with the coming to the ministry here, and then friend of mine said, hey, I got an opening at the school, and we went to work at a school before we did this.
Right.
And then we
School
moved
for
out here.
troubled kids.
Kids for troubled kids. So prepared me for
Oh, yes.
what we needed to do.
Yes,
And that
Yeah.
is, I tell you, God will lead you step by step. That's what I
Yes.
said. When He gives
Yes.
you light, it's just like a little bit of light. There's just, a little bit of light at,
Yes.
at a time to just see. You can't see the whole picture because it would scare you if He showed you the
Oh,
whole
no
thing at
kidding.
one
Yes.
time.
And
you
I was
know?
doing collection accounting for major accounts, multi-million-dollar accounts for an insurance agency. And at the time, I was working between the World Trade Center and Summit, New Jersey. So all said and done, little did I know that at that time, God was preparing me for not being shy about asking somebody to give money for a young person to go to camp or to have somewhere safe to come to. It's such a comfort zone for me. If I can ask for millions of dollars for somebody's
Isn't
insurance,
that
sure enough,
something?
I
I
can
know,
ask for
right?
$1 million for some children here in the city of Newark.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
You mentioned about the camp, and I know that you all have many of the young people. They go away to camp.
Yes.
What is that about? How do they, what camp are they associated with? Or do
We've
you
had over
choose different
6,000
ones?
young people
Yeah.
go to camp, and
It's been
this
it's been
wonderful
different
man-
camps. It's
Yeah.
at first it was Lake Champion up in New York,
New York.
and then lately it's been
North Bay
North Bay
Camp
Camp down in
Chesapeake,
Bay,
Maryland.
Maryland, beautiful place. But we've always tried to utilize
Also
different
Boy
camps,
Scout
and then
camps.
we're part of Boy Scouts too, so we use Boy Scout camping. We're partnered with the Christian Camping and Conference Association. Their president Greg Hunter is a good friend of ours.
Very
so
good friend.
we're actually promoting with him what we call Get on the Bus, trying to get more kids from the city to get away to Christian camps all around. So in fact, that's coming up when he's coming back.
And for employment
No,
opportunities.
right, exactly, because people don't realize that they need camp counselors, and so we're trying to get some of our young people involved in that as well.
Wow. You just brought up youth are always looking for some place in the summer to
Yes.
work or something. Do many of the schools, do they work with you, like counselors there to tell youth about the opportunities that you all even present?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a great relationship with the high school across the street. Actually, it's two, Weequahic High School and Eagle Academy.
Yeah.
Great relationship with them. In fact, Eagle students and one of the leaders, faculty members, are bringing some cans over for our food pantry
They sure do,
later
and the
on
young
today.
people help out.
But definitely great meetings and great relationships with them. And what we try to do is also steer them to employment opportunities as well, with us ourselves, as well as with some other. Like a young man came up yesterday, and he was helping prepare for this time today, and he was telling me that he was looking for a job, and I was giving him some suggestions about some places, ShopRite and some
He's
of
a
the other
junior
places.
in high school.
Junior in high school. And also about what he wanted to do in the future as well. He wants to go into oceanography. So I was like, wow, where'd that come from? But praise God. So we were talking about the local schools as well as some of the schools he had looked into, and I was giving him some suggestions. So it was a great time. So that's what our relationship with the high school is, just that, with the guidance counselors. With the principal has been very good to us, as well as
Very
some of
good.
the other personnel. And
very
of course, we go
grateful.
to the sporting events as well too.
Wow, that is awesome. And they get exposed to so much, more. They get a vision of what life can be like,
Yes.
rather
Yes.
than in that small circle
Yes.
of where they are. Oh my goodness.
And may I say that through our Kids Institute Education Enrichment Program, our KEEP, and also our Urban Leadership Institute, which that helps manage it, the young people are offered opportunities to actually see careers. Like, say, for example, you and your husband, Bishop, you come here and you speak on a career day. Sister Sonia comes and speaks on a career day and lets them know just how your modeling career and all the things. How did you actually go into the different areas that you...
Isn't that amazing?
Because we're trying to expose them to careers, because people send them to college and also to expose them to colleges, but a lot of times young folks don't know what they want to do.
They don't.
And so we go to college and spend 2, 3, 4 years, and then finally realize, you know what, I don't want to be in this. I'd rather be there. So we try to expose them to as many careers as we can.
We even had a doctor come in.
Yes.
I forget the title. It's such a long title where he actually takes and opens brains and peels the skin back and helps. I mean, and some of the young people are actually
Yeah.
in college right now. He came here about 10 years ago. Mr. Andrew Manns introduced him to
That's
us.
right.
Oh my
And a
goodness,
few of the
Andrew
young
again.
people are in college now studying for some of the careers such as that
Isn't
they
that so-
were
And we pick a
identified.
theme in the summertime we carry through. Last year's theme was STEM. And so we brought one of our board members is an environmental engineer. So he came and talked about his profession. This year our theme is going to be on entrepreneurship. And we already started that this fall. So we're going to bring business folks in to talk about that.
Take
so.
Duke Snack Shack to the next level.
Wow. So the youth that are in the community, how do you get their attention? How do they get pulled in to come to the community center? Do they just gravitate? They just come, or how do you?
Actually, it's contact work. We as I mentioned, when we first started off, we didn't have a building or anything, just the streets. We went out. We were a ministry of presence, we call it.
Yes.
We're involved in young people's lives. The staff here are required to put in 5 to 7 hours of what we call contact work, which means they leave the building and they go where young people gather, with
Find
sporting
where they're at.
events or an after-school play or whatever. And as we build relationships with them, they introduce us to their friends, their parents, and in turn, this building after school is actually a drop-in center for high school age kids. The opportunity for them to come into a place. Some come in for like a half an hour before they go home. Some come in, for rest of the day. Some come in right before football practice or band practice, and some they're coming from other schools across town, may stop here after that. So we're open usually from right after school till about 7.
So out of that, we identify the needs of the young people. We particularly have games. You noticed on the floor, we have the games. And out of that, we can have conversations with the young people and find out if somebody's hungry. Does somebody have a home?
That's right.
Do they have a bed to sleep in their home? What's going on with their family? As much as we can without in any way invading their privacy, they'll oftentimes share with us. And so, of course, as they realize, wow, you guys really care. You really care about what I just said. You heard what I just said. And so in turn, they'll tell their friends, hey, come on over to Greater Life. They're going to care about you and they're going to help you out.
That's the best marketing you could do.
That's right. We have very minimal marketing and advertising budget. We don't have to.
Word of mouth spreads faster than
indeed.
anything else. Even on social media,
Yes.
people will, they tell somebody in a heartbeat, and then somebody tells somebody, and that's.
And they know if they don't show up for a while, we'll come out and find them.
We'll give them a call.
We'll do everything we can. If they're behind a building smoking or something like that, they know we're not going to judge them.
Right,
They know we're not
right,
going to put
right.
them down, but we're going to in every way compel them into positive choices, into positive lifestyles.
And that's the best thing, yeah.
And this is every kid.
This is
Every kid.
Every kid.
I mean, every kid. Do I need to go there? Every choice of life, every definition, they know they are welcomed here, but they know that they're going to be loved on with the love of Jesus. We're not going to, cram Jesus
beat them
down their
up and
throat. We're just going to love on them.
What's the saying? They say most people, and especially young people, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Wow. Yes.
And
I've
so,
heard that.
when they know you care, you can say a lot of things to
Yes.
them because they know you're saying it out of
Yes.
love, from a place that you really care,
And if they
not
have-
just being, hammered on them or judgmental or
Yes.
So that is just so.
They have
awesome.
differences of thinking. They
Of
know
course.
they're still going to be loved and accepted.
Wow. I'm sure you've had many challenges, but what has been some of the biggest challenges that you've had being here, would you say?
Boy, where do we begin? I mean, my heart constantly aches because particularly having come out of, I grew up in the projects of Pittsburgh, grew up very, very poor, very rough situations, and by my mother's third marriage, and which ended in divorce, we ended up homeless in the streets of Compton, California. And it grieves my heart whenever I see somebody, I can just see in their eyes when they walk in the door almost what's going on with them. And so I would say that's probably the most heart-wrenching part of what we do is seeing other people hurt, and especially if we can't do anything about it initially. And so out of that, we try to identify what else is going on.
Also, we have several kids that are also involved in the foster care system
Yes.
too. Which,
About 60 to 70%.
sometimes we know and we don't know.
Right. That's our
But as we identify those young people too, we help steer them along to help them as they go through the rest of their lives as well too. But it is heart-wrenching, as Maria said, that when we find a young person, we kind of dig a little deeper and find out, where do you really stay at, and we find out the address that they give us is not the address, and they're kind of living in what I call my man's house, or they're couch surfing,
Yes.
That's a little hard for us too. So then we have to kind of step in and do whatever we need to do in order to make it better for them in a better situation.
I mean, that's why we exist.
Yeah.
We exist for those that have fallen through the cracks, those who have been overlooked, underserved, and feel like there's no other choice. And sadly, some of them come here ready to commit suicide. And we do everything we can to intervene here and, of course, in turn, refer to professional counselors and other places of help.
Wow. This whole segment is really on about Christians who are making a difference, and just seeing what you all do and hearing about, some of the stories, it just shows what a difference. I mean, it is what you're doing with the resources that you have is astronomical. I mean, it's
Somebody did it for us.
unbelievable. You
I
know,
mean,
it's
somebody
just
did
so
it
much
with
how
nothing
you
for us.
do it.
Yes.
People sometimes say, "Oh, I can't." You can do a lot.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
I mean, and you're doing
Yes, you
so
can.
much with little. I mean, I could imagine if what you could do if you had one of those big grants like some of the celebrities.
Right,
did,
right,
You know, because
right.
you've been faithful in this, and I pray that somehow someone will see it.
Oh,
You know, that
yes.
will say, you know, let me bless them because they really are a blessing to people. You know, and.
On that note,
thinking.
I mean, we have Gloria Gaynor, who just won
wow.
her
Yeah.
Grammy
Yeah, she's
for
been
her
a friend-
testimony
She's been a
album
friend of the ministry for a while.
for quite a while. And you know, she's a native Newarker.
Oh.
And she has come here, she's sung to the young people, she's sung to us, she has encouraged us. And in every way, she has affirmed what we do. She said, I've been all over the world.
Yeah.
And she said, I have to admit, I've seen even the best state-of-the-art facilities. And if I can quote Gloria correctly, she said, you all are doing more than I've ever seen anyone do. You've accomplished so much with so little. And so thankfully she blesses us, she gives us well, and encourages other people to give to us too.
Isn't that awesome? God will always.
And you know,
raise
Doctor, the other thing too is that it's also the local church. And we always
Yes.
didn't want to do anything apart from the
That's
local
right,
church. We
that's right.
have partnered with churches. When you mentioned about the camp, the retreat that we do every spring.
About 22
the
churches
youth leaders
join
of the
us
churches come together and we talk about it, we plan it, and then figure out what we're going to get ready to get on the conference call this coming week about what we're going to do for the fall.
We have to do
we try
something
to
unique this
local
year. Mm-hmm.
church as well as various other things. We try to partner with local churches and groups so that we can also push this mission forward about
Mm-hmm.
reaching people for Christ.
That is awesome. And it's nice that you have that kind of co-op with the surrounding churches and
what would we
things,
do
which is
without 'em?
wonderful. Do any of the other churches? I mean, I know you're far-reaching, but then have other pastors or churches ever come to talk to you? Like, well, how did you do that? If they wanted to start up something, where do they begin? If somebody wanted to kind of like model what you do.
Sure, we've held our own workshops and seminars. We just this past couple of weekends ago, we were fortunate enough to host students from Pillar College here to really
The master's class.
The master's class on community development and services, and so we talked about what it is that we do. So it was powerful to have them here in the building,
right.
and it gave us a chance to talk about what we do and hear from them some of the things that they were doing.
That is so awesome. Well, this is an inexhaustible.
Yes.
This has just been so marvelous. But if you could say something to the viewers, what would you want to say? Each of you say whatever you will. This is your opportunity to tell viewers, maybe how they can help support you and what little things. Because people say, well, I don't have much I can do. Well, there's always something you can do. There's nothing too small.
That's right.
That they can't do. I think we just have to go on a campaign and start,
Please do.
getting people to, to come in and help, because you can reach even more people, more people.
Oh,
So,
definitely. We service about 1,500 to 1,700 individuals a year. And we actually found in our accounting of actual people that we've impacted, it's really 3,300. We've serviced 1,500 to 1,700 out of that count. And we also have a saying that I often go around and I say, we're doing about $2 million worth of work on a $646,000 budget.
Right.
And what would we do without individuals? I'm telling you, foundations and churches are so excited to not only match each other and challenge each other, but they love the fact that individuals give. And from the $8 to the $8,000 to the $80,000 donor, that's how we make it. That's how we do it.
That's all.
I would say first and foremost too, in addition to that, but prayer.
Yes,
Definitely,
no doubt about
we
it.
seek the
first and
prayers
foremost.
of the individuals.
Yes.
Folks that were watching us can pray for our ministry as well as pray
Yes.
for our city. We always pray for the street that we reside on and the streets where this
We
building
live about
resides
4
at.
blocks up the street.
So we asking for prayer,
Yes.
definitely for our ministry, but also for all ministries, for pastors, and also for the city and the city that you reside in as well.
Yes.
Wow.
And you can go to our website,
Yes.
www.greaterlifenewark.org. And also, we have a Facebook presence.
And like us on Facebook.
Like us, Greater Life.
And we're going to put all that information on
Wonderful.
the show so that they know how to directly contact
yes.
you. So thank you for stating that.
Thank
Listen,
you.
thank you for, again, being with us at the Well After Hours. Remember, every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. on Facebook page.
Wow,
Like
yours,
us on
that's
Facebook.
right. We liked yours.
And our YouTube channel, Beverly D. Allen Ministries LLC. Please go there, like and subscribe, and make sure that you contact this couple, Pastor Michael and Pastor Marie Westbrook. Thank you so much.
Oh,
It's
thank
been a
you
blessing
so
you.
much
today.
as
Thank you.
well.
And listen, we look to
Thank
see
you
you next
all.
week
We
here
appreciate
again.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
God
for
bless
coming.
you all, the listeners, the viewers. Amen.